diagnosed with HIV. 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with AIDS. The insurance that I had at the time didn't cover anything. And within a year, I lost that coverage and actually went into what they call medical bankruptcy. So from 2002 until the night that President Obama said that he was going to enact healthcare legislation, I had to depend on Ryan White, the Ryan White Care Act, and ADAP for healthcare relating only to my HIV infection. Heaven forbid I fall off my bicycle and break a leg, I'd have to pay for it out of pocket. Getting insurance was out of the question for me because of a pre-existing condition. When President Obama announced that he was going to enact healthcare legislation, I started slowly sending out emails, making phone calls. Pretty soon I got involved with speakers bureaus telling my story like I'm doing it now to get that law passed. I celebrated 7 years ago with Senator Durbin and Representative Schakowsky when the Affordable Care Act was signed into law. I traveled to D.C. to thank the politicians personally for enacting this legislation. Shortly afterwards, I knew that I would be eligible for the expanded adult Medicaid. I wasn't working, so that was the insurance that was available. But you know what? It opened up a brand new door for me. I had a freedom I hadn't been able to experience in quite a number of years. After that, I started working as a navigator, enrolling people into the Affordable Care Act. Through that job, I was able to actually access insurance, not just Medicaid, which is a little nicer. It's moving up one step at a time. So I'm really grateful that the Affordable Care Act exists, not just for myself, but for those people that I helped enroll. I heard too many stories of people who had never had access to health care except through an emergency room. And they literally cried when they realized that they could go to the doctor for a physical, or to get a flu shot, or if they were a woman to get a mammogram. Things that the rest of us take for granted that we have access to if we have health care. So I was more than a little disappointed to discover that this current administration wanted to pass the American Health Care Act, which one of the provisions includes denying people with pre-existing conditions. So I would be right back where I started back in 2003, and that was not a happy place to be. I don't ever want to go back there again. So I will continue to resist, I will continue to tell my story, and I will continue to fight until legislation of this kind goes away forever and we get health care for everyone. Thank you.